Hello and welcome to Cutting Down the Nets. We're coming off a little bit of a dusting yesterday where we earned all the Skolansky bucks with closing line value and not much for real money, but Mark Madsen did come save us at the end. But you can see we had the best lines. The line moved in our favor on every play. I held out till 10 minutes before tip, trying to squeeze that UConn to three. It never happened, and it landed on three. Frustrating day, but overall, when you get waxed like that, there's not really any sweats, so you just move on. Look, there's 6,000 basketball games that are going to be played this year. I'm not going to sweat the 0.1% that happened on December 8th at all. I do have one bet locked in so far, and we'll walk through that next. Again, our process, we're looking at game-by-game efficiencies, adjusted efficiencies, to create a betting pool. I highlight which wagers may have some risk, like what led to their adjusted efficiencies, and then we fire the cannons. So without further ado, let's go through this short slate. This is a nice, easy, manageable slate today. We start with Texas Seton Hall. Efficiencies had that capped as Texas with a 2-point edge. The line came out at 1. It was at 2. It's at 1.5. Ken Palm likes Seton Hall here. Torvik, myself, and the betting market have Texas as slight favorites. I do not see an edge in that game. Iowa State is next. I'll make this a little bigger so you can see the numbers a little easier. So Iowa goes to Hilton Coliseum. Personally, I am actually a Hawk fan. Grew up in Iowa, and this just ends with Gabe Kalsher hitting like 9 3-pointers, right? That's what I'm putting there. But I have Iowa State as slight favorites at home. Ken Palm had the Hawkeyes by 3. I think this kind of comes down to, do you think after 10 years or plus, I don't even know how long it's been, that a Fran McCaffrey team is truly learning how to defend? It seems like one of our more athletic teams when Bohannon's not on the court. But yeah, I don't know. They've shown a lot of heart though in close games. Really battled back against Illinois. Certainly battled back against Purdue. Iowa State is being held back by a lot of preseason expectations. Their on-court performance has been far better, and that's just a large number to cover on the road in a rivalry game, and it could move. That's the risk you take when placing a bet, but at 5.5, I am very comfortable with that number. So something to note, when you have such few college basketball games, you have an NFL game tonight, you could see lots of movement. Movement did not happen last night really at all. Things are just moving just a little bit. But the mouth-breathing bros that bet NFL right before kickoff will have the gambling app open, say, who's playing college basketball tonight. So you could see some movement in college basketball today. Does not mean it's sharp, just could be a higher volume day concentrated on very few college basketball games. So even like while Texas Seton Hall I have as off right now, I'm interested to see if, that line starts to take some jumps one way or another, and we'll see what happens and potentially react to that. So right now, only one bet locked in. I will bet against my favorite team, which I don't know. It's always easy to do. You either are happy they won or you make money. Grand Canyon, Arizona State. So I have Grand Canyon by about 2.5. Arizona State's favored by 3. Ken Palm has ASU by 5. Torvik has ASU by 2. Something to note here. ASU's played 6 top 60 teams, and against Washington State, as we all remember, they scored .44 points per possession. So when I'm using game by game efficiency, this number of having Grand Canyon favored is heavily influenced by that, given the current sample size. Um, if I remove that game entirely, this goes more to a pick'em, ASU a slight favorite. So I think there could be value if you get more than a possession, but that also is showing that Arizona State has pretty inconsistent profile right now, and a lot of new faces down there. Maybe they're going to find their way. I don't know. So that's an orange for me right now, where it's not a priority, but we'll certainly watch and monitor that number. Monmouth St. John's, this is going to be an up and down game like most St. John's games are. It's a little helter-skelter. Ken Pom has Johnny's by 10. The current line is 8.5. I had this closer to a possession. Torvik had it closer to 2 possessions. So I do see value there. I always am concerned when Ken Pom has 10 to lock in an 8.5 point dog, because I feel like the line typically creeps closer to a KP number. Monmouth also has been a little shaky with ball security, but I do think this is a decent value, and Monmouth isn't a total mismatch stylistically as some other teams are. Purdue Rutgers, this is a big road Big Ten number, which I don't like, but efficiencies have Purdue by like 20 points. The line's in the 13 range. Purdue did lose focus late in that Iowa game. I mean, they led by 18 late, and again, just lost focus. Looked like a Buffalo game from last year, where Buffalo just get up 20 with a 7-point line and win by 5. So you can look at that two ways. I think that was a heavy focus from Matt Painter, but that's also assuming that they would be up again, which it's tough to do on the road in the Big Ten. You wouldn't know that by looking at Nebraska the other night. But yeah, I don't know, something to monitor, maybe a live bet. That's just a big number to lay on the road in the Big Ten. Colgate, Pittsburgh, we were pretty much consensus that Colgate's a one possession favorite here. LAU, Brooklyn, and Fordham. So LAU is the 6th fastest team, as they have been for like a decade and a half. Going to be lots of threes. Both teams are the rim and three, the Alabama mentality. Fordham's probably a poor man's Alabama at best, and then LAU is literally a homeless man's Alabama. But they do get up and down. They try to concentrate shots close to the rim or 3-pointers. So there will be some variance here, given that Ken Pom and Torvik have the market have the line set at 6. I'm not going to jump on a 7.5, and if it happens to go up, I'll just sit it out. But if that were to creep down a bit, I think you would see me jump on the Rams there. Off on Merrimack Gonzaga, not betting Detroit. Hampton, William, and Mary is something to look at. Neither team very good, but nothing too unusual about profiles. Fairly consistent performances. I have Hampton as a slight favorite. The line opened at 4.5. It's down to 4, so I need to make a decision there, since I did not make a decision at 4.5. So just monitoring. If I make it, it'll be on BetStamp. Not betting Denver, even though slight value is there. A consensus that New Mexico's got an inflated number there. Last 2 games, I have an orange. We have a 5.5 point variance from my line on Bethune-Cookman and NC State. Cookman is 353rd out of 358 teams. It's just a place I don't want to go, even on a short slate. And then Mississippi Valley State, they are dead last on Ken Pomeroy, dead last on Bart Torvik. Consensus, bottom team. And to give you an idea of how bad they actually are, they are 19-point home dogs to the 250th best team. So, whew, man, getting like 20 points against an awful team. But when you're dead last, you're dead last. They are this year's Chicago State. So, where I'm going, I've locked in Cyclones so far, and I will look at remaining stuff, monitor a little bit. I don't have much urgency on a slate like this, so could just be one play. We'll see what happens. Thanks for stopping by, cutting down the net.